Did he become a dad?
I'll never know if it is my child.
Plaintiff's claim is that your paternity suit you filed against her was frivolous. Did you have intimate relations with the plaintiff?
Yes, I did. About 9 months before.
He was born.
Right.
The cause of action that he filed was for paternity of your son. You say he never showed up for that hearing. It was dismissed, and it was frivolous. Defendant tells a slightly different story, and he said there was real question as to whether or not he was the biological father of your child, and your husband has since died. Is that correct?
Correct.
His case was dismissed with prejudice. You know what that means, sir?
Yes.
And on what date was it dismissed with prejudice?
About July, I think it was.
So your time to appeal has probably expired. You understand that?
Yes.
Well, let's get the story first. Ms. Compton, you and the defendant were in a relationship for a period of time, and the relationship that you had with the defendant was an intimate relationship.
Yes.
And that relationship, according to what I've read, terminated at some point. What month and year did that relationship terminate?
December of '07.
And when did you meet your husband?
I met him after I had moved out in December.
You mean the same month?
Yeah.
When did you and your husband marry?
We married in May of '08.
When was your son born?
September of '09.
Now I'm going to ask you a question. Any time after December of '07, were you and the defendant ever intimate?
Not after I moved out.
Not once.
When I was separated from my husband, we did.
During what period of time were you separated from your husband?
2012.
What month in 2012?
August.
Until when?
We were separated up until the time he passed away.
So you and your husband were actually separated at the time he died?
Yes.
And your son was born in September of '09.
Right.
Is it correct, Mr. Oshakowski, that between the time you and the defendant broke up and she moved out in December of '07 and 2012, after she and her husband separated, that you and Ms. Compton did not have any intimate relations?
No, it's not true.
Tell me when you and Ms. Compton had intimate relations.
We had, before she got married in 2008, her husband-to-be dropped her off at a hotel where I was at.
Do you remember what month in 2008?
2008, I was out of town, and I came back in town in December.
I'm asking you these questions because plaintiff's claim is that your paternity suit that you filed against her was frivolous. Did you have intimate relations with the plaintiff?
Yes, I did.
Where and when? Do you
At
remember?
her house. I gave her presents for her son and that, and it was in December.
Any of that sound familiar to you, Ms. Compton?
No, because my husband and I were together. We were fixing up the place together, and we were just married when I conceived my son. So there's no way he was over there because my husband was at home all the time.
Nah.
He was over at my house after my son was born.